What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another NBA Rundown brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Bets and Run Pure Sports. I'm here today with Tyler Hicks as we attempt to find the winners on this Sweet 16 Saturday. Are you feeling sweet today, Tyler?
I'm feeling good. We had a good night last night in the Discord and on the live show. We had a bunch of live plays. Overall, we went 5-2 yesterday. So just trying to keep up that mojo.
Yeah, and it's so funny how things are going in life, right? Because we always talk about young people not respecting their elders, not listening, right? But here we have a case of the old guy who needs to listen to the young guy. What did you tell me earlier? Hey, stop playing totals. You're way better on sides than totals. Hey, don't play this total. Here's 5 good reasons why you shouldn't play the total. I did not listen. I was the young guy. Tyler was the old wise bull. So today I've given him veto power over my best bet. Let's see if he exercises it. And let's go ahead and jump into these games. Oh, hey, Tyler, while I'm jumping into these games, do you mind dropping the link into the Discord? I realized I had forgotten to do that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So Tyler's going to drop the link into the Discord, and I'm going to queue up the first game for our discussion, and that is the Detroit Pistons taking on the Washington Wizards. The big question mark here is whether or not Bradley Beal will play, and I can't tell by this line whether or not the books expect him to play or not. So the thing that I'm kind of curious about is, does this line move if he's ruled out, or is this line written with him expecting to play? And the line is Washington -3.5. The total is 224. So if Beal plays, I like the Wizards here. I know that they've struggled lately, and boy, I mean, the struggle has been real for the Wizards, losing 3 in a row. They just lost 2 to New York. They had that nice little win over the Utah Jazz, and then before that, they had lost 5 in a row. So they're not playing good, right? They've lost what's that, 8 out of their last 9 then, and they're taking on a Detroit team that always plays hard, always keeps it close. Last night they covered again. That's what they do. They cover spreads. They don't win games. They cover spreads. So it's great for the tank in Detroit and the draft picks, and it's great for the backers of this Detroit team. They recently covered against Indiana and Brooklyn. Tyler, do you think that they will cover the +3.5 against the Washington Wizards tonight?
I don't. I think this is Washington's spot here. I mean, we just like you said, they covered last night. They played Brooklyn pretty tight all night, so they were given a lot of effort late into that game. Now they're gonna have to come back and play this Washington team.
Mm-hmm.
And Washington, we know, loves to push the pace.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could just run Detroit off the floor here.
Do
I
you
mean,
think that this line indicates that Beal should be in there?
I think it's like I don't know because I think if he plays, I think it goes up to 5.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say it's like right around that. He's not playing right now, but I think the total jumps up maybe 3 points if he plays. You might see it get up to like 229.5, 230.
All right. So basically, here's my idea for this game, and tell me if you're on the same page. We set our little notifications, we set our alerts. If he's in, we go ahead and play the Wizards. If he's out, it's just a no play. Would you
Yeah,
agree with me there?
it's a wait and see how the game plays out live if you want to get involved.
All
If
right.
he's out,
Sounds like a plan. And I noticed that over on Bookmaker, they don't have a lot of props up either. And I'm assuming that's in anticipation, right? Because some of these have to move at least 4 or 5 points,
yeah, I
like
mean
a
they
Hashimura over or something like that.
yeah, I mean they would hang his line if Beal's projected to be in at like 10.5, 11. And if with him having that questionable tag, if they hung at 10.5, 11, we'd be all over it. Because the moment he's announced out, that line jumps to 14.5.
Right. And so the lack of props tell me that as much as, the books, they're taking a little stand and they're putting up the line that they don't really know either. So let's go ahead. Let's wait till we find out for sure. If Beal's in, we can go ahead and hold our noses and back to Washington Wizards. But if not, I have no problem staying away from this game. There's so much going on today at Run Pure Bets. We have, the NBA, we have the UFC, we have college basketball. and there's even some tennis on the spreadsheet. So we got 4 sports that we can win money on. We're not going to force anything. And this is one that I was wondering if I'm forcing it if I go right back to the well. The Houston Rockets, 12 and 32, 13 and 31 against the spread. Rematch against the Minnesota Timberwolves last night, 11 and 34, 18 and 26 against the spread. Tyler, last night you took the under in this game. I'll tell you what, with 7 minutes to go, we were a little worried, right?
We
So
were
what
dead
did
with seven
Houston do
minutes to
to
go.
oblige? They went scoreless in the last 7 minutes of the game, gave up 21 points, lost the game. The game went under. What do we expect running it back? How does Houston respond to such an epic letdown?
I mean, that the zigzag has been in full effect this year. I mean, we could see Houston come back and win this game,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to be on the total here, and I want to take it over this time because Minnesota will have Beasley back in the lineup. That's another guard for them to let take a ton of shots. He's going to push the pace.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, we won that under last night, but we had no business winning it. They
Yeah.
were on pace to fly over, and Houston just shutting off halfway through the fourth quarter just ended it. So I think they fly over tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the frustration. I mean, Wall kept beating his man, getting to the rim, and could not convert a layup. It was just absolutely terrible. For the amount of easy looks that he got that he wasn't able to convert, it was almost comical. And for us on the under, it was quite enjoyable to watch. So you like the over here, right? I'm seeing
Yep.
228.5 right now. Should I go ahead and just place that bet right now?
I mean, that's the same number pretty much we had yesterday.
Hmm.
It's only 1 point difference, so I like it. I take over now. I
All
don't think
right.
you
So
see much movement.
Tyler likes the zigzag. And what was your thoughts on the side again? Timberwolves -4.
Yeah, I mean, I would lean there. Maybe wait until try and get a live number. You could have Houston come out and just punch them right in the mouth and go up like 10-15 again.
All right, that sounds like a plan. A live number. Tyler and I will keep an eye on that. So for all the Run Pure Bets members, keep an eye on the Discord notifications for live bets on. You would have got the fine notifications that Tyler was sending out last night, giving out the winners on the live show. So even if you weren't able to hang out with us in the YouTube feed, you were still able to cash those tickets as Tyler was going ahead and finding all the great spots on the board last night. Got to give him credit for that. It was quite enjoyable. And guess what? Keg's going live tonight again. So become a member of Run Pure Bets. Bets 25 off is the code, and you can hang out with Keg, get all the MMA winners, and enjoy some college basketball on the live stream on the Run Pure Bets YouTube channel. The next game we have the New York Knicks +8.5. They're heading to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. So the Knicks are popular with the overnight bettors. I usually consider it to be the sharpers are the overnights, right? And then the public floods in during the day, and then the sharp buyback right before tip off is what we typically see. So I respect these early market moves. And I respect this Knicks play, and I would have liked it at 10 here. Now at 8.5, it's tough to jump in, but that's probably still the way I lean. I know that you're kind of on the other side here. Tell me what you think about this Bucks game and why you're hesitant to back your favorite team against the bulldozer that's the Milwaukee Bucks.
I mean, I know they're in a back-to-back spot here in Milwaukee,
Hmm.
but New York worries me with how it's just so tough for them to score. They're more of that grit and grind defensive team.
Right.
And I know they rank top 5 in 3-point percentage over the last 5 games.
Hmm.
But I mean, with the way Milwaukee pours on points, like you're just going to need New York to shoot pretty much lights out to keep up. And I just think it could be one of them spots where Milwaukee's just pouring it on and New York just can't keep up and they win by like 15-20.
Yeah, I mean, and that's definitely a possibility too. We'll keep an eye on that live movement because I think as the early money comes in on the Knicks, value could present itself on the Bucks. And one of the reasons is Julius Randle kind of banged up his leg in the last game. Are you concerned about Julius Randle at all?
I mean, not really. He's only got a probable tag, so he's likely he'll be in there and play.
All right, so Julius Randle's in there, and the total. I know that this is in the range that I don't like to play, but hey, you've been sharp with these totals lately. Give me an idea of what you're thinking on a number of 223, one of the fastest teams in the league, Milwaukee, one of the slowest, best defensive teams in the league in New York. What are you thinking?
It's right in that number where like I just don't want to get involved because I think it's a spot where Milwaukee could put up 120 plus.
Hmm.
And if the Knicks break 100, you're pretty much screwed at that point.
Yeah.
If we see a live number at 230 or above, though, I will be hitting the under.
All right, hot start. Tyler wants that teaser there, the extra 7 points. He wants the free teaser. Grab it live. Hey, I'll tell you what, I think there's a pretty good possibility that that happens. So here's another game that we were kind of split on when we were talking, doing our prep for the show. And this is the Chicago Bulls heading to San Antonio to take on the Spurs. So a couple question marks in this game. We do not know whether or not we get Zach LaVine or Vukovic in there. The line right now is -2. What does that line indicate to you as far as our expectations? Um, as far as our expectations, whether or not those two will play.
I think Vucevic could play. I think there's a good chance he plays. I think that line more indicates that LaVine ain't playing.
You think the line indicates he's not playing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Vukovic, though, pretty good matchup against Podol in the middle. Wouldn't you agree? It'd be a great night for his debut.
I think so, but I just think it's one of the things we're just going to have to work him into a system and just it's going to take that little bit of time. It's not like how Portland did with Norm Powell, who's a wing who shoots a lot of threes, where it's like, all right, just go out there, you got the green light, shoot away. Like Vucevic has got to get used to like setting screens for these guys rolling, being in these spots where these guards like to hit him with the ball. So I mean, I think this could be a very slow paced game. I like the under here.
All right, so you like the under on the total of 219, and you like the Spurs here, so you're not concerned that they've lost 4 straight games, including losing to the Clippers on Thursday when the Clippers sat their top 4 players.
No, I mean, Clippers on a back to back, that puts them at, I believe, 8-0 against the spread this year, or 9-0. So I mean, that was the spot for the Clippers in that game.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was the stat that we gave out, right?
Yep.
All right, so Tyler likes the Spurs here. I'll tell you what, I like Chicago if LaVine plays, but obviously Tyler's got some veto power over my plays today, so we'll keep that in mind. The best bet will not be the Chicago Bulls, even though I lean that way. If we have a Zach LaVine sighting, Tyler also likes the under there. Kind of like that as well too, especially if we're missing some of the new star power with LaVine sitting out. The Boston Celtics head to Oklahoma City to take on the Thunder. This was the biggest market move overnight, Tyler. This was 10 as well. It's down to 7.5. And basically, I think that the bettors are just saying, hey, it doesn't matter who Oklahoma City throws out there. They can have everybody on the injury list, and they still manage to cover these spreads. Do you get that feeling, right? Because it just seems like no matter what type of G League roster they throw out there, they end up covering. How do you feel about this game? And is the move too much? Is the move correct? What do you make of the 2.5 point move?
I mean, I'd love OKC at the double digits here.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, not having SGA, and I mean, that lineup's going to be so bad. Like, part of me wants to be on Boston, but then you look at Boston, it's like, this is that spot where Boston lets everyone down. We watch OKC either lead this whole game or hang around until the end. So, I mean, it's probably just a stay away from me. Maybe I'll get on a points prop for Tatum or Brown because I see Kemba's listed as doubtful with rest. Yeah. So, I mean, could be more usage there.
I don't see SGA on the list.
I read earlier he's going to be out with a foot injury for like out indefinitely.
Well, why isn't Basketball Monster putting me on his
list? Let me make sure on that. Let me make sure I didn't get caught with a fake Twitter account.
Oh, that can happen. Yeah, so here's who I'm seeing as out for that game. Let me scroll down again.
He's out.
What's up?
He's out. Alexander.
Why are they doing this to me?
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to miss extended time with plantar fasciitis in his right foot.
Plantar fasciitis.
I probably butchered that word.
Yeah, it's fasciitis. But regardless, if we're not here for pronunciation, we're here for the winner. So he's out for sure. Yeah, let's stay away from this game. Total 218.5. Did you have any looks on the total? And if so, and I don't see these props up yet, so they're obviously a little worried about who's in and out. What are kind of your target numbers on those Tatum or Brown props that we could be looking at?
I'd love to get Brown right around that like 22.5, 23.5 number, and Tatum right around 24, 25.5.
All right. Perfect. That's all the information that the people need to go ahead and make an informed decision on that game. And rather than play a side or total, I think that might be the best way to attack the game. Let's stay down there in the southeast. We got Dallas Mavericks -1 playing the New Orleans Pelicans. Now both teams played last night. The Dallas Mavericks were out without Luka. They lost fairly easily to the Pacers, so I was happy about that personally. And the New Orleans Pelicans were not able to score enough to push the game over, and they fell apart to the Nuggets at the end of the game. Really a poor showing there at the end. New Orleans was in control this whole game. They really had no reason to lose, and especially not to cover. Kind of a disappointing finish for the Pelicans. Still seeming like they're having some issues with who should run this team, who should lead. Zion did it all last night with 39 points. I think Brandon Ingram was only like 5 of 17 from the field. A little better game from Ingram, and they're in the win column. How do you expect both teams to bounce back off losses tonight, Tyler? And who are you looking at in this game?
I mean, we might see a little less energy out of Zion because, I mean, the output he had last night was ridiculous. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I think you see better game from Ingram. I think you see a little bit better game from Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, we've seen Dallas in these back-to-backs. They've had tired legs. I mean, on back-to-backs this year, they're 2-5 with a margin of victory of negative 11 points. So they're dropping these games by double digits.
Wow.
So, I mean, and we're catching New Orleans as a dog here. I think I might be on the Pelicans.
Yeah, I lean that way too. So let's talk about those numbers real quick. Usually, I would assume though that Luka's tired. In this case, we might get him fresh. Or are you still a little worried that the foot soreness that kept him out is going to hamper him anyways? So we're not going to get 100% Luka regardless. How do you analyze the loss or maybe playing of Luka Doncic?
I mean, it's one of those things too. It's like, is that really a foot injury or was that just the cover for his rest for yesterday?
Yeah,
So,
because it was tightness in the lower back, which is the one thing that I remember. Like when I worked at UPS, it's like what all the employees would use because you can't. There's no way to like physically prove it.
yeah, I mean, we've seen guys all year take the game off before and they're listed as an injury with some either a knee, an ankle, back tightness, and then the next game they're fine. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see him come out and drop 40 tonight.
And we're expecting Porzingis to be out, right? Because he never plays back to backs.
He never, but I mean, he played in their last back to back, and I don't see his name on this list.
Yeah, I don't see his name on the list either. So a quick look. JJ Redick's here now, right? Switching teams, but he's
Yeah,
doubtful.
but he's listed doubtful.
Yeah, Tyrell Terry, Willie Cauley-Stein, Melly, who was the other one they acquired, right? And Doncic, all questionable.
Yep.
Lonzo Ball's doubtful, so I don't expect him to play. James Johnson, questionable. I think this team plays pretty well without Lonzo, though.
Yeah, I mean, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is just another scorer they're putting on the floor.
I thought Kara Lewis had a pretty good game last night, too.
Yeah, he's a great point guard out of Alabama.
Yeah, so a lot of fun here. So we both like the Pelicans here, and the total's 229. Boy, Pelicans couldn't get it over for me last night. Do you think they go over tonight?
I think they do. I don't think you see much defense out of either side tonight. I think you get a run and gun game here.
Pelicans in the over. I love it, Tyler. I love the strong takes. Sitting here making picks, making predictions, not afraid. No wonder the people love Tyler Hicks. Our guy TTR will not give us a thumbs up unless you're in the video. The Philadelphia 76ers continue their road trip. And Tyler, are you surprised by how well the Philadelphia 76ers have played in the absence of Joel Embiid? I mean, I think they're like, 7-1 without him? That's kind of a surprise after they were like 1-5 earlier in the year. Yeah, 7-1 without him since March 12th, but earlier in the year they were 1-5 without him. With him out, Simmons is at 15-7-7, and he's still probably one of the best defenders in the league. What do you think about this game? Boy, for a team that's playing so well, catching 4.5 seems like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they might have lost the MVP, but they didn't lose the Defensive Player of the Year, so
yeah, I love
they're
it.
still playing great defense.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is just one of them spots where it's like you're getting the points with the Philly team. The Clippers guys, Kawhi sat the last game. So, I mean, part of me wants to take Philly too. You have Doc Rivers against his old team with his former assistant as the coach. Yeah. Probably knows their tendencies a little better than most. Mm-hmm. I'll probably be on Philly here.
All right. I like Philly too. Let's go ahead.
I think they match up well too. because you look at the Clippers where they go, where they're good at, it's with their wings. And you can put
Yeah.
Ben Simmons on Kawhi or Paul George and put Tobias Harris on the other. Now, I know Harris ain't the best defender, but he can get the job done.
He gets the job done, and you still have Tybalt coming off the bench, so you got
And you
another
have Dan
strong
Green also.
defender there. Hopefully Dwight Howard doesn't get ejected this game, right? Oh,
Yeah.
that was a weak ejection.
Hopefully he doesn't get pushed by the opposing team and get ejected.
Yeah, that was a weak ejection. And another thing, when we're looking at his injury report, I think missing Ibaka and Beverly is huge because those are the defensive counter pieces that Lou could have used against Rivers. I think that makes the defense a little weaker, which should help Philadelphia here. So I would think this is a slam dunk, but should I be worried about fatigue here at the end of a long West Coast road trip?
I mean, I don't really think so. I mean, this Philly team has just been rolling all year. I'm not worried about fatigue with them.
Yeah, they used to be so terrible on the road, and now they're just running through the West Coast, which is
And it all
not an
came
easy
with one,
thing to
one
do.
change spread, and it was the one change everyone knew they needed for years.
The coach?
Yep.
Yeah, what's up, Doc? You gotta love it. Doc Brown and Doc Rivers, two of my favorite docs. All right, so we both like the Philadelphia 76ers catching the 4.5. What do you think here about this total here of 220? Right in my stay away zone.
Yeah, I mean, it's right around there. I'd probably lean under because, I mean, this could get like a very defensive heavy game.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I'd wait and see how the game starts to play out in the first two quarters before I get in on the total.
What do you think are chances of having a late scratch on one of these stars? Should we be placing this bet right now if we like Philly?
I think so, yeah, because I see Kawhi's listed as questionable. Marcus Morris also questionable. So, I mean, those two guys are rolled out. It's Paul George against Philly, and he don't stand a chance, I don't think.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and place that one right now. I don't think any news could push the line my way unless, of course, Simmons or Harris were to sit out. So I think I'll go ahead and take that risk. Do we have one more game on the slate here? Yes, we do. How could I forget? Tyler, how could I forget? The Sacramento Kings, the talk of the NBA. No, but De'Aaron Fox has been fantastic. They're hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers, who managed to score 10 points in the third quarter last night. And I'm sure the fourth quarter was just as bad, but I was so mad I turned it off. 10-point third quarter. It was absolutely terrible, an absolute embarrassment by the Los Angeles Lakers. The night before, when I faded them against the Bulls, they looked fine without Sexton. They could not get things going at all without Colin Sexton last night. Now they immediately have to head up north to take on the Kings. But I'll tell you what, Tyler, I think this line is a little high. Should the Kings be laying 8.5 to anybody? Like even that Oral Roberts school that's playing today? I mean, come on, Tyler. What do you think?
I mean, I know you want to shit on your Kings here, but they're going to push the pace against this Cleveland team.
Uh-huh.
And we just watched them. They couldn't score against the Lakers last night. And they got a point guard on Sacramento that's just lighting up teams. Fox is just pouring on points.
Unbelievable.
Halliburton will be lighting them up.
Yeah.
Buddy Hill gets hot from three, and this game's over. It's not. I just don't see how Cleveland keeps it close.
So you like laying it here, huh?
I would probably stay away from the side because, I mean, 8.5 is a big number. But if you had to pin me down, give me Sacramento.
All right. How about if I pin you down on this total of 223?
Give me the over because I don't see Sacramento playing much defense. The pace will be pushed. I could see them breaking 120 here. And if the Cavs get you to 100, you're fine.
All right. And Gregory Russo asked us a question, Tyler. He says, is it best bets time yet? It's time.
No, you missed a game.
What game did I miss?
Memphis, Utah.
My apologies. Gregory Russo, it's not best bets time yet. How did I forget this epic, stellar game of the Grizzlies and the Jazz? The Grizzlies were able to cover last night, right? They only lost by like 3 or 4.
Yep.
And that was probably like a backdoor cover, right? Because weren't they ahead most of the game?
Utah went into halftime up 16.
Yeah, so that was definitely a backdoor cover there. Now they run it back one night later. Utah catching 9.5 or laying 9.5 again with a total of 227. Tyler, what are your thoughts here? We zigzagging?
I think so. I think Utah gets the job done here, covers, and I think the game goes under. Because, I mean, in reality, that game was going under last night.
Mm-hmm.
Utah takes their foot off their neck after halftime, lets them creep back into striking distance coming into the fourth. And then in the last 5 minutes of the game, you have 40 points scored
Yeah, that was wild.
To barely still put the total over by 3 points.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think you get a lot more defensive effort out of Utah. Now, you might not have Mike Conley in the lineup due to rest. Mm-hmm. I don't think that changes much. I think they come out, they stomp them, and get the job done early.
All right. So Tyler likes the Utah Jazz there, and he likes the under. And Tyler, since we've talked about it this morning, people are with you. Let me look. Yeah. Under's gone down 2 points since the time you sent out an alert to everybody in the Discord and right now. So great job being ahead of the market moves. And like I said, these earlier sharper moves are usually sharper. Give them a little more respect. So let's try this again. Now it's time for best bets. Tyler's got veto power, but he's going first. Tyler, best bet on the board, side, total, or prop? What are you thinking?
Are you going to make me go first? All right. We're going to go prop today. We're going to go with your guy, De'Aaron Fox, over 26.5 points. Now, I know it sounds like a high total.
Like, what, 40 a game?
Yep. If you look at his last 10 games, he's covered that number 9 times. Now he catches a Cleveland team on a back-to-back. He may draw Garland at some points on defense. He may draw Windler when the second unit comes in. Even if he draws Okoro, who's a great defensive guy, I still think he gets enough shots up to get you over that 26.5.
All right, over 26.5 points for De'Aaron Fox. Hey, I can't argue. He has been absolutely on fire lately. That's all they're talking about on local talk radio. Tyler, is someone out of the Celtics game? It's moved down to 6.
It's not showing me anything. Maybe they finally announced Kemba's fully out. I still see him listed as doubtful.
Kemba cannot move the line that much.
Or maybe Tatum or Brown.
It has to be a Tatum or Brown, right?
I mean, that game, like when you looked at it on the board, it screamed.
Let me unclick that. No, I don't see. Well, I don't understand how that line went down to 6.
Because they got the early news, and then the news will come out in like an hour and a half that he's going to sit or he's questionable.
I like how XXX hustle, Kemba and Semi out, as if Semi would even move a line like 0.1 points. Might as well say Kemba and spread out, because that's about the same amount. I think I have the same amount on the point spread as the Semi Ojale does. So at 6, what do you think of that game? Are you rethinking there? That seems like it's getting kind of short now.
Yeah, it's getting kind of short, but I still want to see how Boston plays. This is that spot where they come out and just lay an egg.
Yeah, it is. All right, Tyler, time for my best bet. I think I'm going to go with the Pelicans. We'll go Pelicans, money line, minus 108. What do you think? Are you going to veto that, or are you with me there?
No, I like it. I could agree with that one. I think they get the job done tonight. I think we see Alexander Walker put up 20+. I think Zion dominates. Ingram won't be able to be guarded by any of those guys. Luka,
right.
You're going to need a great game out of Dallas's role players, even if Luka goes nuclear. So I like the Pelicans as a dog.
All right. Well, hey, guess what, Tyler? We've had a great week here on the NBA Rundown. Back in business. We're rolling. We've had a great week at Run Pure Bets. We went over the 50-unit mark last evening, so we're celebrating that. And in celebration, Greg Russo's got a question. He says, give me a real bet, please. Don't give us a prop. He wants a real bet.
What sportsbook doesn't have props now?
Can you just do the bonus for our guy, Greg Russo?
He wants a bonus?
Give us a side.
Or take the over in the Houston-Minnesota game. It's going over. They're scoring 230+. Malik Beasley's coming out. He's pouring it on in his first game back.
Tyler is big on Malik Beasley. He's big on the Timberwolves coming back. He's taking the over in the Houston Rockets game. All right, Tyler, we will be out tomorrow. I'll be back on Monday with Hoop. Guys, check it out. Everything we've got going on today. Do you know if Keg is live or behind the paywall today?
He's live, but it's behind the paywall.
All right.
You have to sign up to get the show.
That means if you want to be part of the winningest live betting show on the internet in existence, at least in this like planet, this little area. I don't know about another galaxy; they might have a better one, but in this one, best live betting show on the net. You need to have access, and you can do that by heading over to runpurebets.com. If you are a new member, use the promo code BETS25 off. Keg will be firing up at like what? Like real soon, right? In like 3 hours?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. He's going to be bringing on Steve Boynton and a couple of the college basketball guys. So you'll be getting college basketball live bets. They'll dabble in the NBA because even though he can't even tell you any of the bench players, he's got the best entry points for NBA live that I've ever seen. It's just such a great feel for it.
I
And
may
they will
jump
be
on for a couple hours and give out some NBA plays.
Tyler's going to be on there. We're representing the gray shirt team, and that's going to be fantastic. Joey Work will be helping out all the UFC winners. So even if you're just a casual UFC guy, kind of like myself, you just want to flip it on a Saturday night, enjoy some fights. You want to place a bet, make an educated bet. Keg gives you the most solid breakdowns before all the fights. So to be a part of this live streaming event, heading over to runpurebets.com. Bets 25 off. You too can be part of the team that just went over 50 units. And I'd like to thank Tyler for that. I know Tyler was a great reason they went over. He's been absolutely crushing these props. Been a great help for me doing the NBA rundown. So head on over to runpurebets.com. Go ahead and join us. Guys, for the actionable gambling info, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back Monday morning. Tyler, you got anything else?
Nope, that's it. Now we just got to cash some tickets tonight.
I can't wait. I'm feeling great. I feel like we're gonna like cash over 3 to 4 sports today. I think D's even gonna drop in some soccer winners for us. So
Yeah, we're
if
getting
you're not
winners
a
all
member of
over the place.
runpurebets.com, you are really missing out, or your unit set size is only like $5. But if it's more than that, it's worth the $60 to be paying to get all the great actionable info and to be a member of the Discord. Chat with Tyler, chat with myself, chat with HTP. Get all the best plays and information at runpurebets.com. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back Monday, 1 p.m. Run